Hey everyone, it's Jenny from Homestead Corner, and today I thought we'd talk a little bit about this pipeline and cyber attack. I'm sure all of you have heard about the Colonial Pipeline down the East Coast getting shut down on Friday from a cyber attack. And, they're holding it for ransom and all that stuff. People are trying to get money any way they can. But anyway, I just thought we would talk about that a little bit today and what else we can expect in the future. Last week I touched on a little bit about Scripps, which is a hospital out in the western part of the country that had a cyber attack, and they were holding their medical records hostage, which is absolutely horrible for all these people that are just trying to get to the doctor and get healthy and things like that. They just want to get better. And it's just awful. They're still having trouble with it. It is not completely fixed. And now, last Friday, they have this ransomware attack. Again, another attack on the Colonial Pipeline, which supplies about half of the fuel to the East Coast. And this is not, it's not, they told us to be prepared for massive price hikes, things like that. We have seen a little hike, only about 10 cents. That's all we've seen. Today I went out just to check and see what is happening right here in my area. The effects, see what is just going on. I had to go out and pick up cat food because we have recently inherited a cat, and which is a total nother story. So I had to go out and get some cat food, and I just wanted to get a little bit ahead. I have been feeding him for a little while, but I want to make sure I have enough for him. And so while I was out, I checked the local gas prices, and everything was kind of in similar range to where it was. Only about 10 cents difference is all I really saw as far as today goes. But the longer this goes on, we could definitely see much more increases in gas price. And I think that's something to watch for. And what other things can happen with this? I mean, if they can attack this gas company and they can attack, a hospital, what other utilities are next? Is it the electric grid? Are they going to take down the electric grid? How long will that be out if that happens? Are we prepared for that? How we need to really look at, what's next. If these people can get in like that and just get on this stuff and hold it, shut it down, then we need to be realistic that this can happen in many other sectors of our utilities, electricity, water, all kinds of stuff, especially in cities and things like that. Take out, the internet stuff, all of it. If they can shut these two things down recently in the last week, then they can shut down more stuff. Are these companies prepared to stop this? These companies weren't. They weren't ready for this, and they got shut down. We need to be prepared that whatever else happens, if the grid goes down, are you ready today? That's one thing. Do you have another way to cook your food? Another way to heat your home? Do you have plenty of water? If you have a well and you rely on a water pump to get that water in the house, a lot of people in the country have their own personal well, and with no electricity, there is no water if that pump can't work. So do you have a hand pump to get water out of there, or another water source? These are all things that I think are super important that we need to look at. We need to be prepared for these other things, because when you see things like this, this pipeline, a hospital, and it affects so many people, we really need to look at what else is coming. This is not, a one-shot deal. I don't believe it is. I believe there's a lot more coming, and we need to be prepared for whatever that is. So with all the other stuff going on, they're talking about chicken shortages and this and that. I know I ran into the grocery store today because they had whole chickens on sale for 89 cents a pound, which is a super good deal. And I was excited to grab some of those to get them in the freezer, but they did not have a lot of them. They had 5. I got 4, and there was still 1 left. And I wanted to get more, but someone was waiting behind me to look at the chicken. I couldn't take that chicken from him. You know, I have other chicken, but I wanted to get some of them in the freezer, so I have them, and I have it readily available when we need meat, when it's not there at the grocery store, and things like that. So hopefully they had more in the back that they could bring out. I didn't ask. I don't know, but I did notice one thing I found kind of odd at the grocery store was people were really hovering around the meat section. And when the price of meat goes up and you are standing there trying to figure out what you can afford, it takes a little bit longer. And that was just the sense that I got when I was there today, was they were, you know, kind of looking at everything, and no one was really looking at the beef. They kind of would walk up to it. I didn't see anybody take any. They just walked off. But in the chicken and pork section, which is still substantially cheaper than beef in our area, then I did notice that they were kind of hovering, which ones, what can we get, the right size, the right amount. You know, we need to shrink those meals up so we don't have so many leftovers unless you're accustomed to eating leftovers. We need to, you know, I love leftovers personally. There's nothing like a cold hamburger salted down in the middle of the night. And I just love leftovers. I grew up on them, so it's something that I always throw the leftovers in the fridge, on a plate, in a container, whatever. And if you're anything like me, when I was younger, grandma's house was always, you know, it was a mystery what you were pulling out of the fridge because everything was in country crock containers. You know, there was 20 of them in there. Where's the butter? And what is this? So, but those are things that we really, you know, with the prices rising, we need to tighten up, and we need to be ready for other cyber attacks. We don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know when it's going to happen. It could happen today. It could happen tomorrow, maybe next month, but we need to be prepared. Be ready with lighting, heat, water, fuel to cook with, things like that. Even if you have a bunch of meals that you can boil water and make food quickly, those are great. Or just heat stuff up, those are great also when you don't have electricity. So having that stuff and being prepared for whatever utility is next is really going to help all of us. I would love to know if any of you are being affected differently so far on the gas. I think that it is going to cause issues in the future. You know, the longer this goes on, they've got part of the control back, but not all of it. And the longer it goes on can definitely cause more problems, more price hikes. But I mean, like I said, we've only seen 10 cents over the weekend. That's all we've seen. But I believe there is more to come. This is not the end of these cyber attacks. We need to be prepared to get through this. Please let me know in the comments if you're seeing any changes, what you have seen over the weekend, how it is affecting your area specifically. I would love to know that. And stay safe out there, stay alert, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.